Up, everybody? This is the Draft Guys podcast with Peyton and Niko on your platform providers for podcasts and YouTube. And today we're coming at you live with a Miami Dolphins 3-round mock draft, which is going to be super, super unique because they have 7 picks. Unbelievable. We're looking at the free agents on the screen. Pete, what are you looking at?
Well, you got to start with Malik Willis. That's obviously the main signing, but really the main storyline with Miami is the stuff that's not on the screen. And that's all of the fire sale that happened this offseason. There's obviously a major change in the regime that happened both at GM and head coach, and they're looking to restart that program that, faded out over the last few years. And so hopefully we can supplement that with not a shortage of picks here in this draft.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to slide over to the PFF simulator to do it. And it's going to really be interesting. I'm looking at the team needs. Oh man, this depth chart is brutal. They need a lot. I mean, I have BPA is the first thing on there because that's what
Yeah.
they're going to be drafting with 7 picks. Wide receiver one, wide receiver two, tight end one, offensive tackle, corner one, safety one, nickelback, linebacker. We're going to see what we can do for them in the simulation, and hopefully we can give them something good. So their first pick is going to be at pick 11. Okay, so we see the board
Mhm.
kind of normal here. See
Very
the
normal.
guys on the screen. Speed on. Is there a guy who's coming out to you? I'm thinking it's either cornerback or wide receiver at this pick.
I agree. You would have liked either Tate or Delane to fall to this spot. I'm gonna be honest. I have Jermod McCoy as a top 6 or 7 player in the draft. I've been pretty clear about that over this cycle. I don't like McCoy to this team because I think this is a team that absolutely needs to hit on this pick. This is like you said, a BPA spot, not a, and although I think he's the most talented player here, um, he the injury concerns are risky, and drafting that player at 11 that you need a surefire pick, not one I'm willing to take here. So I like your BPA call out. They do have I know you said corner and receiver. They do have a need on the interior of that offensive line, and the best player technically on my board is Owane out of Penn State. So if I was a GM, I think that's where I would go. But this is such a tough pick. Like we definitely need to talk this one out.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Tyson. They need a wide receiver terribly. Tyson's going to come in at my number 16 player on the board. I think he really fits with what they're trying to do. Obviously, they have Malik Willis now. They have A-Chain. Other than that, though, it's pretty bare. I don't know. When I'm looking at value down the board and their other picks, what do you feel about that? Would you pivot there?
The thing with Tyson is I think it's the same conversation with McCoy, and this you need to hit on this pick. And so arguably a player that has just as much of an injury history. I'm tough. This is tough here. Hmm. I mean, I don't mind Tyson. I would take Tyson over. Um, man, this is tough. This is such a tough pick.
Keldrick
Um,
Folk is there. You know how high I am on Keldrick Folk. He would fit pretty
yeah.
well with what they got going on there. Otherwise, I'm not
Would
taking
you take
Freeling at
Falk
this
over
pick.
Owane though?
Uh,
Because I mean, Falk is a surefire first surefire run defender, but he's not, there's not a lot of surefire in the pass rush. So I mean,
yeah,
I love Falk. I think he's great. I just feel like with Owane, like you have a staple on the inside of you have an all-pro guard for the next 8 years. And when
yeah.
you're building a team,
I like it. I like Awane here, and I'll tell you why. There's really no other offensive
yeah,
guards in this class. They need it
yep,
badly. We're going to take him here. They have 7 picks to figure out the other things. Yeah, Awane going to go at 11. We had to think that one through. It's harder with the way the board fell, but also they're
that's
going to have to
tough.
talk it out anyway. Okay, so the board falls in their
Ooh,
favor here. They got some
yeah,
guys on the
really
board. Wow.
stoked.
Concepcion is on the board. Avion Terrell is on the board. Peter Woods is on the board. Denzel Boston. I mean, this is perfect and realistic to happen at pick number 30 for them. Obviously, the traded pick in the Jalen Waddle trade to the Broncos. Pete Dunn, you like some guys on the screen a lot. Is there
Yeah,
someone you're leaning towards?
I mean, KC and Terrell are both top 11 players for me in the draft. I think they'd both be surefire. Hey, I'll tell you what, Colton Hood on this team as a man corner, I also like a lot. Boston is I think when we're talking about surefire picks, BPA, like Denzel Boston is a X receiver that is a good X receiver. His floor is very, very high. Um, I will say, like with the Waddle trade, like I feel like the Concepcion pick feels a bit reductive, and I feel like they're looking for a different type of receiver. As high as I am on KC, you got to think about team fits here. I think they're good at D tackle. I don't think they'd go Peter Woods. Obviously, not Caden McDonald is the way they drafted last year. Um, I think I'm between Terrell and Boston here. I'm trying to think about what they'll have at 43. Like I like the receivers at 43 much more than I like the corners at 43. Um, so I think Terrell here would probably be where I'm leaning. What do you think?
I think this is realistic, and I'll tell you why Terrell is because of what happened at his pro day, pulled a hamstring. We could see him potentially fall. This is
Yeah.
realistic. Obviously, the machine gave it to us this way. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I think you can't leave it. Terrell falls to 30, you have to take him.
Yeah.
And you need a cornerback so bad. He can fill a nickel role if necessary. We're going to take Avion Terrell here. You're going to walk out with the best guard in the class and a top three corner. Okay, so this is the crazy thing
Oh,
because we're at 43 and
oh yeah.
Concepcion falls.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that realistic?
Absolutely, it's realistic. If there's teams that think that his skill set isn't that versatile, he can absolutely fall to this spot. We see players do this all the time in drafts that fall to this middle second round that maybe I don't think should. Um, I mean, we have to take him here. This is a grand slam.
Unbelievable. What this team just came out with. You get the number one guard in the class. You get the P-Dun's, top three receiver. Yeah, we're gonna take him right here. Unbelievable. Glad we took Terrell at that pick because I don't think he
Yeah.
would be here. We're gonna move on to their next pick. Crazy Hall. Just really happy if you are a Dolphins fan watching this.
Oh
It'll be
yeah.
in the third round. They have four third round picks or something crazy. Okay, so we got some more guys on the board.
Mhm.
Okay, so what are we looking at here? Tight end one, offensive tackle, safety, nickelback, linebacker. We'll roll through really quickly kind of some of the things. They're not going to go back to receiver. They're not going to go running back. Offensive tackle, not the greatest role at 75. See with the corners, yeah, not the greatest role either. Safeties, interesting. Could be a fit potentially.
Yeah.
Linebackers,
Anthony
Anthony
Hill.
Hill falling.
Yeah.
Wow. Kyle Lewis is there. We like him at the big nickel. Let's see the edge. Ooh,
Mhm.
edge rush class, not good at all. Wow.
No.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to take any edge in this spot. Defensive interior will be the last one we look at. Yeah,
Mm.
got some guys here. Okay, Pete, what are you thinking?
I'll throw you a curveball. One that we didn't even look at is Connor Liu
Mm.
sliding into that center spot. I know it sounds weird to say you took Owane in the first and take a center here at 75, but I'm telling you, when you're building a team from the bottom up and you get the best center in the class and the best offensive lineman in the class, as well as Concepcion, as well as Terrell, man, I think that's an awesome pick. I know there's some Dolphins fans that might not like this. If you get Connor Liu next to Owane on the interior of that line, man, A-Chain's gonna have a field day behind there.
Connor Liu, my number 57th player on my board. He's here available at 75, so we're just gonna put that pick in. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
We'll go to their next pick, which is at 87, a trade from Philadelphia. Okay, so we got all these guys out of the way. They got their offensive guard, their offensive center. They got their cornerback one, their wide receiver. Um, Man, so many things that we could go to with this fifth selection for them. Looking down the board, trying to think, okay, do we go defensive interior here? Do we maybe go a quarterback? Do we?
Ooh.
I don't know what we do. I mean, you're
Malachi
trying to look
Fields
for
there.
BPA. There's some guys like this is unbelievable. Like Billy Scrap is still here. Will Lee's here. Like, do you
Mhm.
double up at corner? Do you go safety? We haven't gone safety in a lot of these drafts. What's the tight end market looking like? We haven't talked about that. So many things that this Dolphins team can do. Pete Under, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, and both of them again would be a double up. The two players I'm thinking about, Malachi Fields on the outside. If you get him at 87, you want to talk about another really high floor player. Will play X for you for a long time. Um, Jonah Coleman is also an interesting one that I haven't thought about in this spot. You talk about an awesome change of pace back between the A-Chan. They're two polar opposites. The a defense having to guard that would be tough. Um, but another one I'll throw you is Malik Muhammad is another corner. That corner room has been so bad, and it's only worse this year. That's such a weak room, and you can never have enough of them, especially with the way their depth chart is positioned right now. You want to talk about an instant impact player. I think that Malik Muhammad would be the biggest instant impact out of any of these guys.
They got 3 picks within the next 10.
Yeah.
Is there a preference that you have going here at 87?
I mean, looking at the next picks, just the next two picks until we have another one, the least likely guy to be there between those three, I think is probably Malachi Fields. I think he would be the first one to go, but yeah, I think he'd be the first one to go out of those three.
Okay, so let's take Malachi Fields here at 87. It's an unbelievable pick. They get a wide receiver too.
Yeah,
This is just awesome. If they can
this is
see how the
crazy.
board shades out, and it does shade out in the favor. What's this pick at 90, Pete?
I think it's Muhammad. I think you take Muhammad. He's the most impactful player here. I mean, this draft is mind-boggling. This is incredible. This is crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna go Malik Muhammad at this pick. Really good selection. We'll go to their last pick of this
Oh,
draft, and they got some guys. Okay, we'll look down the
wow.
board. What are
Ramsey
you
went
thinking?
one pick before. I was gonna take Ramsey here. I think that was gonna be the guy. Hmm.
Okay, so Wheatley is there, but Clark is there. I like Michael Trigg also. I don't think they would go
Yeah.
three, but Michael Trigg is also a really good pick. I don't think there's any other tight ends that are valuable in this class. I mean, this would be awesome if they can find a way to do this. They still haven't taken edge rusher, which is crazy to say. I don't think there's a guy that we're gonna
Mm-mm.
match with here. Unfortunately, with the way the board fell. Maybe they can bring in a free agent later. Linebacker, same type of story, but I think they're okay on the linebacker front. For me, it's going to be either Michael Trigg or Zakee Wheatley. Is there one that you prefer?
Michael Trigg. I think he's the most impactful player. I I think you win more because he's at tight end than you would with adding another safety into that rotation. You did a lot to fix up that secondary in this draft. Get a tight end. He's your tight end one right now. I think he'd get the most targets on any tight end in that room. And so getting that at 94, I think is a win.
Unbelievable draft. We'll put the pick
Huge.
in and we'll review what just happened for this team. Just an unbelievable turnout. We don't really care what PFF says about it because we think this would be an A+ draft. If they can find a way to get Awane, Terrell, and Concepcion in their first 3 picks, merging with Connor Lew, Malachi Fields, Malik Muhammad, and Michael Trigg. Pete, what are your thoughts?
If this draft were to happen in a couple weeks, this would probably go down as the highest graded draft I've ever seen. Or like this would be one of the best drafts. Not how it looks down the road, but after draft day, this would be one of the best drafts I've ever seen. This is unbelievable. You get a really, really high level guard who I think is the best offensive lineman in the class. You get my CB2. You get my wide receiver three. You get the best center in the class. You get one of the best X receivers in the class. Like you get a great man-to-man corner and you get a tight end one. That's like not even real. Like that is unbelievable the way that if they could pull this off, it would be absolutely incredible.
This would make up for their depleted roster. This could make them some sort of contender in the AFC East. I'm a big fan of this. We thank you guys so much for tuning in. And if you liked our analysis on this video, you got to check out all of our videos. We're doing a full series on our mock drafts, and we thank you guys so much for tuning in.